3 minutes before midnight, my phone rang, and suddenly nothing in my life made sense. How could I die and then wake up at 18 again? I still smelled the hospital cleaner in my mind. I remembered him smiling over my bed. I remembered the penthouse glass roof and the view. I remembered the glass breaking and a fall. I had a secret memory that should not exist. I knew who would betray me. I knew where the penthouse terrace key was hidden. But how could I stop it now? Suddenly the elevator dinged below and someone came up to my old apartment. I woke on a mattress in a small room. It smelled like cheap soap. My hands were young. My legs did not hurt. I sat up and saw a school poster on the wall. I touched my face. I was 18. I said the name of the man who smiled at my grave. I could not stop the name. My head was full of one memory, the penthouse, the terrace, the night I fell. I remembered the doorman's face, the elevator doors closing, the secret key behind the picture in the hallway. I remembered his hand on my shoulder. I remembered the smile that was wrong. I ran to the mirror. I looked like my old self many years ago. My phone in my pocket had messages I did not send. My mother called. I answered and cried. She said, "Noor, you are still young. You have time." She did not know I had lived and died already. I had money left in an account I did not own yet. I had a name that did not fit, Omar El Salah. He was the man who shared the penthouse with me. He was tall and polite in the old memory. He loved the skyline and the rooftop plants. He also loved secrets. At 18 I had promised myself one thing. I would never trust a smile that hid teeth. I would guard the terrace key. I would not be alone with him again. Now I had a second life. I could fix the promise. I found a map of the penthouse in an old library book. I read the words slowly. The elevator was fast. The doorman knew my voice. I knew how to enter the high-rise now. But my plan needed help. Who could I trust in this new past? The answer came in a message, "Meet me in the duplex lobby. Tonight. Come alone." The message was from a name I thought I buried with my first life. The lobby smelled of coffee and new leather. The doorman watched me with kind eyes. He said, "You look different today." I smiled, but my teeth were cold. I went into the elevator. The glass walls showed the skyline. My heart beat fast. I thought of the terrace key and the hidden drawer. I thought of the night I fell. I thought of his smile again. I had to test him. I had to make him show his truth. Omar met me at the duplex door. He wore a dark suit. He hugged me and whispered, "You look like the old days." I felt his hand on my back. I watched his eyes. He was happy to see me young. I was not angry. I was careful. I asked about the rooftop plants. He laughed and walked me past the elevator. I watched his fingers touch the wall near the picture. I saw the place he always touched. My hands were ready. I followed him to the terrace. The skyline spread below us. The night was clear. We stood by the glass railing. He offered me a drink. I took it slow. I watched his face. I wanted to see if the smile changed when he thought I could not see. On the terrace a waiter passed by. The wind moved the papers of the small table. I slipped the hidden key from a pocket I now kept in my coat. I did not fear him. I had knowledge and a plan. I would show him I knew the truth. I would not shout. I would not run. I would set a calm trap. I called an old friend I trusted. He came to the rooftop in a small car with the engine off. He hid behind a potted plant. I told him to stay quiet. I told him to watch how Omar moved. I walked to Omar and said, "We should talk about the terrace key. You know where I hide it." His smile did not change. He said, "What key? You always forget." There was a calm in his voice that did not fit. My friend moved. A shadow fell over us. Who else was on the terrace? I used my memory like a map. I knew the steps he would take. I knew the name of the waiter who carried the wrong tray. I knew the sound of the elevator at 11. I watched Omar move his hand to the railing. He breathed slow. He was calm and perfect in a lie. I asked him, "Do you love me or the money?" He laughed and said, "You always ask strange things." I smiled. I let the question hang. My friend stepped out then. He had a small recorder and a camera. He said, "We heard everything in your office. Now we can show the truth." Omar's face froze. He tried to take my hand. I let him. I wanted to feel the cold of his fingers. My memory pushed me forward. I remembered hiding a letter behind the bookshelf. I remembered a photograph of him with another woman. I had seen that photo in the last life. I had burned it in anger, but I kept the truth in my head. Now I asked the doorman to bring that old photo to the terrace. He came as if on cue. He handed me a small envelope. My hands did not shake. I opened it. The photo showed Omar and the woman smiling in a small cafe. His arm was around her shoulder like a claim. I looked at him. He looked away. My friend pressed the recorder button and played a voice from last year. It was my voice saying, "If you ever lie, I will leave the penthouse and never return." The tape cut to silence. Omar looked at me and finally showed fear. But fear was not the same as guilt. Suddenly the terrace door slammed. A figure stood there in the dark. It was a person I knew from my past life. The person smiled like before. What would this face do next? The figure stepped into the light. It was not Omar's enemy. It was my sister. She had been gone for years. Her face was pale. She said, "I had to disappear. I feared for you." I felt the world tilt. All the threads of memory fell into place. My sister had faked her death to protect me. Omar had lied, but not about everything. He had hidden the truth because he thought it would save us. He had wanted power to keep us safe. I saw his tears. I saw the way the smile broke. I felt both anger and mercy. I chose a new path. I told my sister and Omar the truth I learned from my second life. I asked for honesty. I asked for a small life with clear rules. They agreed to step back from secrets. I moved from the penthouse roof to a small apartment with a balcony and a view of the skyline. I kept one plant on the terrace. I learned to trust slowly. The lesson was simple and harsh: second chances let you change your choices. You can use pain as a map. You can ask for truth. If you find a secret, speak it softly and act with clear steps. In the end, I lived again not to punish, but to learn how to live with eyes wide open.